turn number 4. Steve Bowden looks the field over. Green flag is out, and the 40-lap anniversary special is underway.
Here we go. Rick Martin making moves right onto the gate, right up to the 3rd spot. He'll battle door-to-door with Amy Helger down into turn 3 and 4.
Dane Saritelli jumps out front, sets the pace down at the turn number 1. McLaughlin settles into the number 2 spot. Martin and Helger battle for 3rd off of turn number 2. They battle into 3 and 4. Bolger and Duarte right behind them through the corners.
Dane Saritelli, 40 laps, a long distance here, but looking for a win for his first win. Will he do it? We've got 38 laps to decide that. Here comes Rick Martin looking for more, looking for second down into turn 3 and 4.
Tim Bolger went high and wide down the front straightaway, 3 wide last time. This time he's getting caught up there. Vanada down to the inside of Helger, down into turn number 1. They come through the corner. Vanada backs off the throttle, settles it in behind as Cavallaro takes a look to the outside.
Rick Martin continues to battle for that second spot with Andrew Rittman McLaughlin, the veteran on the outside, the rookie on the inside, down into turn 1 and 2.
Off the corner they come. Saritelli's got a pretty comfortable advantage at lap number 4. But Rick Martin breaks through for the number 2 spot, and all of a sudden that lead doesn't seem enough as they head down into turn number 1, a 1.208 second advantage, and that is starting to dwindle. You can see Rick Martin closing in the gap down into 3.
The veteran, Rick Martin, calm, cool, collective, coming across the stripe, inching ever so closely to Saritelli as they work down the backstretch.
McLaughlin holding on to the 3rd spot, able to hold off the 50 of Duarte with Helger, Bolger, and Vanada all in tow off of turn number 4. They head down into turn number 1. Chasing down the 45 of Dane Saritelli. The lead has dwindled over the last 2 laps, but only to a 1:1:35. Still plenty of time for Martin to wind up that wick as they both settle it in early.
Here they go. Off turn 2, Dane Saritelli continues to lead. 8 laps on the board. The battle for 4th position heating up between Mike Duarte and Amy Helger, and the battle for 6th spot between Bolger and Vanada as they come across the stripe.
Helger and Duarte racing side by side down into turn number 1. Duarte with a little bit of an advantage off of turn number 2, about a half a truck length into turn 3. Helger trying to battle back down on the inside as they come off of 4 down to the stripe, and Duarte continues to hold that spot. McLaughlin strong in that 3rd position. 4 truck lengths between he and that battle behind him as we have 10, make it 11 laps up on the board.
Here they go across the stripe. Rick Martin continuing to slice into Saritelli's lead. Inching ever so closely. They work down the backstretch. They've checked out from 3rd spot. Andrew Rittman McLaughlin off 4 and across the stripe.
Helger backsliding. Her and Teague make contact. Amy goes around off between turns 3 and 4, trying to get that truck refired, but she's not going to. And we are slowed up for the first time. 12 laps up on the board. Amy Helger has a back end snap out from underneath her as she was battling in heavy traffic in the middle. And we are 11 laps in. Somewhere around there.
14 sticks in my mind, I want to say, but we shall see.
Off the corner they come. There's a green flag. We're back underway. And Martin up on the outside as they head down into turn number 1. Gets a good run off the 2nd corner. Edges out ahead of Saritelli. Duarte does the same with McLaughlin as Andrew starts to backslide just a little bit. He gets split down through turns 3 and 4.
Down into turn 1, Rittman McLaughlin falling. Here comes Vanada and Bolger. They're going to battle for the 4th spot here. Working up front, Rick Martin to the lead, Dane Saritelli 2nd, Mike Duarte looking for 2nd, coming along across the stripe.
Radical Rick Martin sets the pace down into turn number 1 with Mike Duarte right behind him off of turn number 2. Trying to follow his footsteps towards the top of the field. Saritelli sits between them. Off the corner they come behind them. Bolger, Heilborn, Vanada, all battling for that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot as they come off the corner. Cavallaro up to 7th.
The top 6 and now top 7 have worked themselves single file. Rick Martin out front over Dane Saritelli. Mike Duarte right there. Throw him under a blanket off 2 and down the backstretch.
Keep your eyes on that black and red number 80 of Mike Cavallaro up into the 7th spot as he tries to get back up on the podium once again. Off the corner they come. And Heilborn sitting in that 5th spot. That black number 20 sitting between a pair of white trucks. Bolger in front of him, Vanada behind him, and he is pressuring that number 1 as they hit 3 and 4.
Off 4 across the stripe. Rick Martin leads the way. You think Chaz's Auto Body Sport Trucks, you think Rick Martin. Our 80th anniversary, and Rick Martin leading the way in this race here, off 4 and across the stripe.
Down into turn number 1, 18 laps up on the board, closing in on the halfway point, and Martin holding on to a 2-truck length advantage over the 45 of Saritelli. Into 3 and 4, Duarte trying to hang on, but losing some ground to the top 2 as they begin to break away into that first corner. Battle for 4th. Here comes Heilborn taking a look to the inside of Helger. Helger shuts the door.
As the battle continues further back in the pack, Darrell Church, Colton Teague, they are battling back there. Door to door, out front. Rick Martin leads the way off 2 down the backstretch.
Into 3 and 4 they go. The field starting to string itself out now. Deep in the pack, you've got a great battle going on between Amy Helger and DJ Tebow as they race side by side just inside the top 15. Helger up on the outside. Tebow down low gets the advantage, and Marissa Morgan is right there in tow in front of them. Here comes Andrew McLaughlin to the outside of Tom Scully III.
Down off of the start-finish line, down into 1 and 2. The leaders continue to be single file. Rick Martin starting to open up that lead just ever so slightly over Saritelli. Off 4, across the stripe once more.
Nice and smooth down into the first corner. 22 laps up on the board. And Radical Rick in control down into turn number 3. 23 complete. It'll be 24 as they hit the stripe. Saritelli trying to watch for a weakness in the 8-time champion. The service partners number 14 sets the pace down into turn number 1.
Calm, cool, and collective. That is what Rick Martin is. As the battle starts to heat up for that 4th spot, Ethan Heilborn looking for more. Kind of reminiscent of last week, battling with Tim Bolger, but further back in the pack here in turn 1 and 2.
That's the battle for 4th off that second corner with Heilborn down on the inside. Bolger up top. They hit the corners side by side, tailgate to tailgate. Give the advantage to Heilborn at the stripe. He is up to 4th.
Rick Martin, 26 laps down, holding that lead over Dane Saritelli. Dane Saritelli looking to match his career best finish here in the Sport Trucks tonight, but wants one more spot. Laps continue to whittle down. Rick Martin leads the way, 27 laps down, 13 to go.
Mike Cavallaro got all sorts of crossed up, heading down into turn 1, had a nose up underneath Jake Vanada, but that hole closed up, and a great save by the 6-time champion. In front of them, Tim Bolger and Ethan Heilborn continue to battle. This time it's Heilborn working that bottom lane as they come off of turn number 2. Heilborn up top has the advantage and settles into that 3rd spot.
Jake Vanada just biding his time, watching this battle in front of him. It'll be 10 laps to go this time at the stripe. Rick Martin, a name synonymous with the Seekonk Speedway in our 80th year. A multiple-time champion looking for a win in a big race here tonight. 10 laps to go.
30 laps complete. Deep in the field, a great battle going on. Amy Helger battling with Colton Teague, DJ Tebow, and the 4 of Darrell Church, all vying for position deep in the field as they come off at turn number 2. Tebow caught up on the outside as Church gets by on the inside. Here comes Guy and the 57 of Morgan. And it looks like Tebow may have a right front tire going down.
And you're going to want to watch here. Colton Teague had some contact. Looks like he might have lost part of the bumper. Not sure. We're going to see a caution here. 8 to go. Rick Martin continues to parade the field here down in 3 and 4.
Mike Cavallaro takes a peek to the inside of Jake Vanada as they hit turns 3 and 4. That is a battle for 6th on the racetrack. Cavallaro's streak of top 3 finishes is in danger of coming to a stop here tonight. They come off the second corner side by side for 6th down into turn number 3.
Wondering if that piece of Colton Teague's truck may have ended up in the 78 truck, and that's why he's pit side. 5 laps to go. Rick Martin, looking for lobster rolls on a Sunday, continues to lead the way.
It wouldn't be an 80th anniversary celebration without putting Rick Martin's name into it as he leads the charge down the backstretch into turn number 3. Laps winding down. Right now, the battle to watch is for 6th. The 80 of Cavallaro, the 29 of Vanada goes side by side, And all of a sudden, Tom Scully, the third, gets into that battle. He sits right behind him down into turn number 1.
4 more laps to go. Now 3 as Rick Martin crosses the stripe, continues to lead down into 1 and 2.
Off the second corner, Martin smooth as silk down into turn number 3. Saritelli sits glued about 3 truck lengths back. Twin sticks are up in the air for the Radical One as he rolls his Silver Motorsports down into the corner, setting the pace off at turn number 2.
Working his way to the white flag, Rick Martin, the number 14 truck, multiple-time champion. White flag in the air for Rick Martin one more time around.
Down into 1 and 2 for the final time. Saritelli is closed into 2 truck lengths, but that's about as far as he's going to get. Checkered flag, high in the air. Radical Rick Martin rolls to victory here in the 80th anniversary celebration race. Dane Saritelli ties a career best for second, Mike Duarte third, Ethan Heilborn fourth, and Tim Bolger rounding out the top 5. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Radical Rick Martin. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, climbing out of the truck. It might take a little while, he says, but here he is, Radical Rick Martin. Hey, if Billy Clark can do it, so can Rick Martin. Rick, congratulations. You know, it just wouldn't be an 80th anniversary celebration without you picking up a win on this night.
Yeah, I feel like I was here for the first year, but, man, what a race. Fire suit blew out and everything in that one. It was a tough race there. Dane, he kept the pressure on me there. I was kind of proud of him. Young guy coming along there. He's doing great. And, of course, Mikey over here, always fast. I was just glad to get this one done.
Been an up-and-down season for you this year. You haven't had the best of luck, but the truck's been fast each week.
Yeah, we had a few motor problems, carburetor problems. We're still waiting for a carburetor to come from Canada for 3 months there with the tariffs. So hopefully we're going to get that for the next time out, and we'll be a little better even yet.
It's got to feel real good picking up the anniversary special race here tonight. I know you got some people you want to thank.
Yeah, I got to thank Ed and Masha, their Silver Motorsports, Northeast and Alternative, of course, Brightman Lumber, Service Partners, Auto Cosmetics. Everybody that helps is, like everybody says, this is a team thing. Nobody can do this alone anymore.
Congratulations. Welcome back to Victory Lane. A great run finishing second here tonight.
Second to Rick is a win. My first race I ever came here to watch, 1997 opening day, the only person I remember winning was Rick Martin winning the Pro Stock race. Don't ask me what happened the rest of that night, but Rick won. So a second place to Rick, especially after the last couple of weeks we've been having, that's a win.
You were able to lead a lot of laps early on before that caution. The truck looked good tonight. It had to feel good.
Better than the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, it's been tight in the heat races, and then we either make a small adjustment or no adjustment, and it's too loose to drive. And it just keeps getting looser and looser as the race goes on. Tonight, we didn't touch anything, and it stayed the same tightness it was in the heat race. So at least I knew how to drive it. It was drivable.
Well, I know you got some people you want to thank.
Got Jake, John, and Erica. We're going to do it this way. I missed some last time. Impression Screen Printing, Olson Plumbing. I forgot Boss Lady last night. Congratulations on her win last night. Centerline Hobbies and Supplies. Bob Henry for yelling at us and insulting us and being his typical miserable self all night long.
Yeah, but that's what makes him happy.
I got to thank the track for being here. 80 years, you don't see that. They've been here longer than NASCAR's been around. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have anywhere to come and play on a Saturday night or a Friday night.
Well, congratulations. Great run for second. Dane Saritelli there. And quick through the field, but then the truck looked like it kind of evened itself out.
Yeah, it was loose. I don't know, all of a sudden, the heat race, it did the same thing, and I just had nothing. Outside was actually a little bit better than the inside, so I was hoping those guys would battle and I could catch them, but Ethan was coming. My right leg's burning. Can't remember if I wore underwear because I can't feel them anymore. So, but, yeah, I got to thank my entire crew, George Turgey, my crew chief, for giving me the best piece I can have. My brother, my dad, Kyle, Sandy, they bust their humps. Boss Ladies Graphics, congrats yesterday, Sam. Eric's Auto Service and Roach's Landscaping for supporting me all these years.
Great run for third. How about a round of applause for our